Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're diving deep into a state that, well, lots of people think they know.
Uh-huh. Michigan.
Exactly, Michigan. But our source material, it's just this one article, but it really hints there's, so much more going on beneath the surface.
Right, beyond the usual stereotypes.
Yeah, the cars, the mitten shape. Our mission here is to dig into this source and pull out those key insights.
Show you why it's maybe more complex and honestly more interesting than you might think.
Okay, so where does the source start us off?
Well, it really grounds things in geography first, especially the water.
The Great Lakes, obviously.
Yeah, but even before that, it talks about the indigenous peoples, the Ojibwe, Odawa, Potawatomi. They were thriving there for, millennia.
Makes sense with all that water and land.
Then the French arrive, 1600s, chasing the fur trade, setting up posts.
Like Detroit.
Exactly, what became Detroit. And that location, it stayed important. War of 1812, statehood in 1837.
But the source really dives into the industrial part, right? The big shift.
Oh, absolutely, the early 20th century. Henry Ford, the auto industry.
Right, Detroit becoming the absolute center of American manufacturing.
That's the key insight the source pulls out. And here's where it gets really interesting, talking about insights.
Hold on.
Those factories, they weren't just for cars. The article highlights World War II.
Ah, the arsenal of democracy.
Precisely. It wasn't just a slogan. Those plants switched gears. Tanks, planes, ammo. Huge scale.
So that industrial power, that ability to pivot, that's core to its identity, according to the source.
Definitely. And you see echoes of that adaptability and the importance of its geography even today.
Okay, so let's talk about today. What kind of variety does the article point to?
Well, it starts with the obvious, but emphasizes the scale. The Great Lakes.
Yeah.
Michigan touches 4 out of the 5. 4.
Wow.
And that means, get this, over 3,000 miles of freshwater coastline.
3,000. That's more than some states on the Atlantic.
Exactly. And the source uses specific places to show this off, like Sleeping Bear Dunes.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of those.
Describes them as these incredible, sweeping sand cliffs right on Lake Michigan. Just stunning nature.
And there's that island, too, right? New cars.
Mackinac Island. Yeah, the article mentions it, like stepping back in time. Very unique vibe.
But it's not all just nature and nostalgia. What about the cities? Detroit.
Right. The source talks about Detroit's comeback story, its resilience.
A rebirth, it says.
Yeah, highlighting the music, the art scene, new businesses popping up.
Hmm.
Mentions the Motown Museum, Detroit Institute of Arts, symbols of that cultural depth.
And it's not just Detroit either.
No, it gives nods to places like Grand Rapids, Ann Arbor, that mix of, creativity, culture, college town feel.
So a real range of experiences then.
Definitely. And speaking of unique Michigan things connected to the water and industry, the source has this amazing little detail.
Oh, what's that?
It raises the question, like, who knew this even existed?
Okay, you got my attention.
It's home to the only floating post office in the U.S.
Wait, seriously, a post office on a boat?
Yeah. The J.W. Westcott Second, right there in Detroit.
What does it do?
According to the source, it delivers mail to moving ships, freighters on the Detroit River.
It pulls up alongside them?
Yep. Hands off the mail. It even has its own ZIP code, 48222.
That is wild and kind of amazing. It says something about how vital those waterways still are.
Exactly. It's not just a quirky fact. It's an insight into that ongoing maritime connection.
Okay, so pulling all this together, what's the big takeaway for you listening to this?
Well, the source paints Michigan as this state of real contrast, but also comeback.
Like gritty cities and beautiful nature side by side.
Yeah, the article uses that imagery. Gritty cities meet sparkling waters and deep forests. It suggests you could, paddle a lake in the morning.
And tour an old auto plant in the afternoon?
Right. Innovation meets tradition. It's offering this really diverse set of experiences.
And its source ends with that line, come for the lakes, stay for the soul.
Which really captures it, I think. It's saying, look past the easy image. There's depth here, resilience.
A unique spirit shaped by all that history and geography we talked about.
Totally. So the relevance for you is understanding that some places have these hidden layers, this complexity that defies the simple picture.
Okay, so a final thought then.
Yeah.
Connecting this back.
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, thinking about Michigan like this, with its contrasts and surprising details like a floating post office,
Yeah.
it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other places, maybe places you think you know really well, have their own hidden stories, their own surprising contrasts just waiting to be discovered?